and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm out with yet another crochet tutorial, and this time I'm going to teach you how you can make these super cute crochet mittens. So we are still sticking with the winter theme, and I hope that it is going to be helpful for this season as well, and also something that you can pair together with the crochet beanie that I shared a while ago. Otherwise, as always, I have made sure that this tutorial is as beginner friendly as possible and there aren't any extraordinary steps, and I'm also trying to explain everything in as much detail as I can so everyone is able to follow along. Otherwise, if you have any questions, then just feel free to ask in the comment section below and I will try to help you from there. Otherwise, you can also adjust the speed of the video and I'm sure that it will help you in case I'm going too slow or too fast. Besides that, I have also prepared a written version of this pattern, which is linked down below, available for purchase on my Etsy store. So if you would like to support my work, then feel free to do so, and of course I will appreciate it a lot. But now, without further ado, let's jump into this project. Here are the materials that I will be using for this project. Here I have some wool yarn, and in total you will need around 100 grams, so basically 2 of these rolls. And here are also some more specs just in case if you're interested. Of course, you will also need your crochet hook. For this project I'm using 5mm hook, and you will also need scissors. And here's the final mitten that you will learn how to make in this video, so let's jump into it. So first we will be starting by creating the cuff, and for that I'm just grabbing my yarn, and first we are making a slip knot. So for that you are just grabbing the yarn and making a loop like this, and then you're twisting it and pulling the yarn through the loop that you have and making a knot like this. It's quite big at the moment. Just grab your crochet hook and put it inside the loop, and then just adjust the size of the loop so it fits the crochet hook. And now we can proceed with doing some chains. So to do a chain, you basically just have to yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop that you already have like this. So here I already have 2 chains, and just do 12 in total. So here I have done all 12 chains that we need, and now we can proceed further with the first row. So throughout this project we will be doing single crochet stitches, so that's what I'm going to show you now. And now to proceed with the first row, we basically just have to skip the last chain that we did here, and in the second one we are going to start doing our single crochet stitches. So for single crochet you just have to go through the stitch, or in this case through the chain. So just go through, grab yarn and pull it through to have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through both loops. So this is one single crochet, and then just continue with doing the same thing also for the following chains that you have here. So in total for this first row, because we skipped the first chain that we had, we will have to have 11 single crochets in total. So here I have completed this first row and I have 11 single crochets in total. So now we can proceed further with the next row. And for that, before we can actually begin, we just first have to chain 1, and then we can turn our work and start working on the second row. So starting from the second row and throughout all the following rows, we will be actually doing all the stitches in the back loops only, instead of doing them through both loops that we have from the stitches from the previous row. So to start working on the second row, we first have to skip this chain that we just did. And then in this first stitch that we have here, we are doing the same process with single crochets that we did before, but we are only doing them inside these back loops that we have like this. So all you have to do is just basically continue doing single crochets, and you're just doing them inside the back loops only. And because we had 11 stitches, we also have to have 11 stitches during this round. So all the rounds that we will have, or all the rows that we will be creating, all of them will have 11 single crochets in total. So here also the second row is completed, and we can repeat basically what we just did also for all the following rows. So again, we are just chaining 1 and then flipping our work and proceeding with doing single crochets inside the back loops only that we have from the stitches from the previous round. So that is basically the process, and with doing these stitches inside the back loops like this, we are kind of like creating a ribbed effect, which is quite nice, especially for the cuffs. So here I have done already 4 rows, and as you can see, this ribbed effect is becoming a little bit more pronounced, as well as it has a little bit of a stretchy effect that we want for the cuffs to have in particular. But from now on, the process is very simple and very repetitive. You just have to repeat doing single crochets in the back loops only for approximately 26 rows in total. At least that's what I'm going to do for myself. But the most important thing is that these cuffs, once you have done all the rows, that they actually fit around your wrist. So feel free to add as many as you wish, or as many as it's needed for your size. And then I will meet you back again once I have done mine, which in this case for me will be 26 rows in total. Here I have done all 26 rows, and this is how it looks. And now also, if I put it around my wrist, you can see that this cuff is fitting me. However, feel free to do more rows or less if it's the right size for yourself. But now what we can do is actually that we can connect this cuff together like this to form a nice a cuff loop that we need. So for that, we are just folding it like this, and then we will be doing slip stitches starting from this point up until here. And first, as you can see, we have this loop on this side. So what we want to do is loop it through one of the stitches that we have here on this side, starting from this first one on the same side here. So to do that, I'm just going through this stitch that I have here, and then grabbing the loop that I have on the other side and pulling it through like this. And now we can proceed with slip stitches, but before we can do that, we just have to chain 1 like this, and then we can flip our work and start working on that. So also for slip stitches, we will be doing them in the back loops only. So starting here from the first single crochet that we have here, I'm just going through the back loop of it like that, and then going through the stitch that we have here on the other side. And then to do a slip stitch, all you have to do is that you go through both of these stitches or loops here, then grab yarn and pull it through, and then pull it through the loop that you already had on your hook like this. So that's a slip stitch, and let's just do one more together. So going through the back loop of single crochet, then going through the loop that we have here on the other side, grabbing yarn and pulling it through all the loops that we had on our hook like this. So just proceed with doing slip stitches until you have done them all the way through on this side, so we can nicely connect this side together. Here I have completely connected this side together with slip stitches, and as you can see, it looks very nice and even. And now this side is actually going to be the side that we keep on the inside, so we can basically just turn it inside out like this, and this will be the part that is facing outwards for our mitten. But now we can proceed with the next step, which would be to actually add volume here for the hand of the mitten. And for that, we will be doing single crochet stitches on top of every single row that we have here. And the amount of needed stitches is basically determined by however many rows you did. So in my case, I did 26 rows. So for that, I will be adding 26 single crochets all the way around this cuff part, and each of them will go on top of one row that we have here. So let's start doing that. So first, to get started, we just have to chain 1, and then we are starting to add single crochets on top of each row that we have here. So here I'm just starting with this first one here and adding a single crochet there, then jumping to the next row that we have here and adding a single crochet there. And that's basically the process. We are just jumping on every single row that we have done and adding a single crochet there. So just proceed doing that until you have done just as many single crochets as you have rows for the cuff that you have completed. Here I have gone around and added single crochets on top of every single row that I have here, and in total, as I mentioned, it should be equal amount of rows that we have, so in my case it's 26. And now, since I have completed all of them, I basically just have to connect this round. So in here I will be doing a slip stitch inside this very first single crochet that we have here. And to do a slip stitch, again, it's very similar. I'm just going through both loops here from this very first stitch that I have here. Then I'm just grabbing yarn and pulling it through the loop that I had on my hook, like this. And with this, our first round is completed and we can proceed with the next one. So to start working on the next round, we will basically be doing the same, and we will be adding single crochets on top of each one that we have from the ones that we just did. And to get started, we just first have to chain one like this, and then we are starting to add single crochets inside every single stitch, also including this very first one that we have here. So again, I'm just going through this space that I have here and adding a single crochet in there, and then again just proceeding with the next one and adding single crochets inside every single stitch that we have, one in each, and just going all the way around that we have here. So again, I have gone all the way around. So here I have this first stitch from the very beginning, and again I'm just doing a slip stitch in there, and now also the second round is connected and we can proceed with the third one. So again, it's the same process. We are just chaining one and then adding single crochet inside every stitch, also including this very first one. And now the third round is started as well. But otherwise, this is the process that we have so far for this part of the mitten. And in total, for my case, I will be adding 10 of these rows, but of course it's totally up to you how many rows you want to add, and it's easy to customize. So if you feel like for your hand you have to add more, then just feel free to do that, or if you feel like you have to have less rows, then just do less of them. And you can easily measure it by trying it on to figure out how many rows you want to add, and the end point would be here by your thumb. That is what we want to reach basically with these rows. So just continue adding them until you have found like a comfortable length for this mitten at this stage. Here I have done all 10 rows for the first part of this mitten, and I have also tried it on to see how it fits. So as you can see, I have now reached the thumb here, and starting from the next row, we will work on adding in the hole for the thumb. So here the 10th row is completed, and I will basically just connect this round again, just in the same way as we did it before, and doing a slip stitch in here like that, and then after that just chaining one, and we can start with the 11th row. So again, the process is the same in the beginning. We are just doing single crochets, and in total our first step is to do 15 single crochets, and then we will add the hole for the thumb. So just count until you have done 15 single crochets in total for this round. So here I have done all 15 single crochets, and now we can add the hole for the thumb. So for that, I'm going to do 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like this. So this is how it's supposed to look. And because we did these 5 chains, I'm going to skip 5 single crochets here at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 stitches we are skipping, and then starting from the 6th one, this is where we are starting to add single crochets again. So I'm just doing that like this. So this is the hole that we will have for our thumb once the mitten will be finalized basically. And of course, as always within this pattern, if you wish, you can easily do less or do more chains for this hole if it's needed for your size. Otherwise, now we are just continuing to add single crochets until we reach the beginning of this round where we started, which in my case are 6 single crochets left to do in total after we have added this hole in here. So now again I have reached the very beginning of this round, so again just connecting it with a slip stitch, and then I can proceed with the 12th round, which again is pretty much the same thing. I'm just adding single crochets, and in this case I'm just continuing to do that until I will reach this hole that we just added. So just proceed with adding single crochets during this 12th round, and let's meet once we have reached the hole for the thumb. So here I have reached these chains that I have for the hole, and in them we have to add in single crochets. So because we have 5 chains, we will basically just be doing 5 single crochets, and in this case we are adding these single crochets inside the chains. So you just have to keep in mind that you actually have to do these stitches inside the chains instead of working them over all of the chains like this. So just add them in inside. So we also have some kind of like chain part here left at the bottom. So just add 5 single crochets, or how many chains you did, to fill these chains that we have for the thumb. And this is how it looks once it's finalized. And after that we are just proceeding further with adding single crochets inside every stitch that we have here for the remaining part of this round here. So this is how it looks so far, and I can also try it on. So this is how this mitten is fitting me right now, and starting from row 13, in my case I will be just proceeding with adding regular rows, and in my case I will be doing in total 25 rows. So including starting from here, I will be going up until I have reached 25 rows in total. So the process again is the same just as we had before we added this hole for the thumb. So I'm just proceeding with the 13th row, and I will be repeating basically what I did already before, just by adding extra rounds of single crochets until I have reached and completed row 25. And of course, as also for the previous steps, you're more than welcome to do more rows or to do less rows if that's how it fits better for your size, to create actually mitten that fits you the best. So just keep on adding extra rounds, as many as it's needed for your size, and then I will meet you back again once I have done that for myself, so I can explain you the next steps. Here I have completed my mitten up until row 25, and this is how it looks when I try it on. So it's really just the top part that is left, and therefore we will be working on the next steps, and I will show you how we can reduce. So now for myself I will be continuing with row 26. So again, the starting point here I have already done it, so I have connected the 25th round, and now I can start with 26th. So for the 26th, basically the process will be that we will be slowly starting to reduce, and for that first I will be doing 2 single crochets. So this is 1 and then 2, and then after that we will be doing a decrease. So for decrease we will basically be connecting 2 single crochets into 1 stitch, and for that I'm just starting with doing a single crochet like this, so pulling up a loop to have 2 of them on my hook, and then going into the next stitch and also pulling up a loop. So we should have 3 loops on our hook, and then we are just yarning over and pulling through both of these loops like this, and this counts as 1 decrease. After that we are just repeating these steps that we did, so doing 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then doing a decrease, so connecting 2 single crochets into 1 stitch like that. And that is all that we are repeating throughout this round. So 2 single crochets and then decrease by connecting 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So just continue doing this throughout this round, and then I will meet you back again once we can continue with the 27th round. So here I have ended round 26th with 2 single crochets, even though I started them with 2 single crochets as well. So it's fine that we are not ending it also with a decrease. So don't worry about that in case you are, but now we can continue with round 27th. So to get started, again, I'm just connecting this with a slip stitch and then doing 1 chain like this. And then during this round we will be decreasing even further, and the process for that will be to do 1 single crochet and then to do a decrease. So first I'm doing 1 single crochet and then doing decrease by connecting 2 single crochets into 1, and then again just repeating. So 1 single crochet and then decrease by connecting 2 of them together like this. And that is all that you have to repeat during this round here. Here I have finished round 27th, and as you can see it's getting even more narrow here at the very top. But now we can continue with round 28th, and for that again we are just connecting first and then chaining 1 to get started. And throughout this round we will be doing decreases only, so connecting 2 single crochets into 1 during this whole round. And with that we are reducing our stitches even more, but it's going quite quickly in this way. So just do this round by doing decreases all the way around. And here I have finished round 28, and as you can see I only have very few stitches left here at the very top. For me in total it is 7 stitches, so we are almost done with this mitten part that we have here at the top. And for the round 29th we will basically be doing the same as we did before. We are just continuing to reduce until we have no stitches left. So first I'm again connecting this round just by doing a slip stitch here inside the very first stitch, and then continuing with reductions until there is no stitch left here. But also if you feel more comfortable with a darning needle, you're more than welcome to just sew this part together instead of using a crochet hook. But since I'm already proceeding with this one, I think it's just easy to finish it all at once without involving any other tools. So I'm just basically sewing this together with my crochet hook. And here at the top it might get a little bit tricky since we cannot turn this way anymore. So here I'm just going through this stitch from the other side and then completing this final reduction here like this. So now we are done with this top part here. So the last step is basically just to chain 1 like this, and then we can make this loop a little bit longer. And then I'm just grabbing my scissors and cutting off yarn like this. And when it's cut off we can just tighten it by pulling this loose end that we have here like that. And now our mitten is finalized, at least for this part, and now it's just left for us to do the thumb part in there. And as you can see here at the top we also have nice and round shape. It might look a little bit awkward with this thread hanging here, but we can easily just weave in this loose end, and I would suggest to do that with our crochet hook and just go in and pull this loose end and just weave it inside. And then you can also turn your mitten on the other side, and we can hide it even more just by weaving it through the stitches that we have here in the inside, so it's not visible to anyone. So I'm just doing that with my crochet hook and going through random stitches and hiding this loose end here in the back or in the inside of this mitten, so no one will be able to see it. And we will also close some of the gaps that we have here in the top part. So this is how it looks once I have hidden this loose end here, and then we can just turn our mitten back on the other side to proceed with the next step. And for the next step, what is left for us to do is basically to create this thumb that we have here. So for the thumb, our first step is to attach yarn, and we can do at a random place in one of these stitches, but I will be doing that here inside the first free stitch that we have here. And to attach yarn, I'm just grabbing it and pulling it through this stitch that we have here, and then just creating a secure knot here to make sure that it's not going to untie, and it will just stay there like this. And I'm also leaving this small piece of yarn here. And then once it's attached, we can proceed further with adding stitches in here, but first we just have to pull up a loop like this so we can get started, and then we are just chaining one. And after that we are just adding single crochets. So also in this space I'm adding one single crochet, and once that's done, I'm just proceeding further with the next stitch that I have here and adding single crochet in there. So here at the bottom, since we have 5 stitches, we should add 5 single crochets as well. So I'm just proceeding with doing that. Here I already have 3 and adding the 4th one, and then also the 5th one like this. So this is how it looks so far for me. And then we are just turning our work slightly, and now we will be adding also single crochets here at the bottom that we have, like the bottom part of these chains that we had here. So adding 5 single crochets in those spaces as well. So I'm just proceeding with that and adding single crochet stitches here. So it's also 5, but just make sure to also count along, and in case if you left more or less chains there, then just keep that in mind, that then the count will be different for you as well. So here I have completed the first round that I have for this thumb, and then again, just as we did before, we just have to connect it. So here I'm going inside the very first single crochet that we have here and doing a slip stitch in there like that, and then we are able to chain one and proceed further with the second round. And then again, for the second round, the process is the same. We are just continuing to add single crochets on top of every single stitch that we have here, and in total we will be repeating this to have 7 rounds in total. So at the moment I'm working on my second round, and I will just have to do 5 more after this one to create 7 of them in total. So it's very similar process as we had throughout this mitten. It's just that now the space is a lot smaller, so it might be trickier with the bigger hook to do that, but you know what to do. It's very simple and it's basically the same as before. So now here I have completed this second round and connecting it together like this with a slip stitch and chaining one and proceeding with the third one. So just do that until you have added 7 rounds in total, or if you feel like it, you're more than welcome to add more rounds if you have longer thumb, for example, or less if your thumb is a little bit shorter. So whatever fits you the best. And feel free to try it on as you're adding these rounds. So now I have completed, this is my 3rd round that I'm creating right now. As you can see, I should still add some more, so I will just proceed with adding more. But yeah, just try it on to see how it fits and adjust the amount of rounds that is needed for your size. So here I have done 7 rounds for the thumb, and this is how it looks. And also if I check the fitting, as you can see, it's only the tip of my thumb that it's now open. So from this part I'm going to start some reductions also in here so we can finalize this thumb. So to do that, again, here is the 7th round that I just did, and it's left for me just to connect it together. So I'm just doing a slip stitch here in the very beginning of this round like this, and then we can start with round 8. So starting from round 8 we will be doing some reductions. So first we just have to chain one like this, and then we can proceed further with that. So throughout this round we will be doing 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease. So first I'm starting with single crochet and then doing decrease by connecting 2 single crochet stitches into one like this, and then again doing 1 single crochet and then after that doing the crease by connecting 2 single crochets into one, like that. And again for the remaining stitches, the same thing, single crochet and then connecting into 2 single crochets to do a decrease. So this is how it looks right now. As you can see, we have decreased for a couple of stitches, and then starting from the round 9 we will again be doing decreases, but in this case we will do that in every single stitch. So first I'm just connecting and then chaining 1, and we can proceed with this round, and I will be doing the crease in every single step. So connecting 2 single crochets together all the time. So this is already for the second time that I'm doing it, and then also doing that for the third time, like this. And now we have basically gone all the way around. It's just very few stitches that we have here left. So again, for this part, if you wish, you are more than welcome to just cut off yarn and do the rest with your darning needle or whatever works for you the best. But I will basically be just merging these last stitches into one and just closing it with my crochet hook. So here again it's a little bit difficult to make a circle or a round, so I will be just connecting these stitches into one decrease like this. So now this is basically finalized, and after that I'm just chaining 1 again, making this loop a little bit longer, then grabbing scissors and cutting off yarn, and as it's cut off I can tighten it in a secure knot here like this. So now this thumb is also finalized, and just as we did before, we also have to hide this loose end that we have here. So again I will just do that with my crochet hook. So I'm putting it inside this thumb here and just grabbing this yarn with my hook and weaving it inside so it's not visible, and then we are also able to shape it a little bit better. And if we want to hide this loose end that we have here, I'm just turning my mitten other way around and again using my crochet hook to hide and weave in this loose end that we have here. So just feel free to do that. So this is how it looks once it's weaved in, and after that we are officially done with our mitten, so we can turn it back on the right side. And this is how it looks. So all you have to do basically now is just replicate all these steps to create another mitten, and nothing is really changing. You just have to do literally the same that you did for this one. The only difference you could implement would be that, if you remember, for adding the thumb hole, we were first counting and doing 15 single crochets and then leaving the thumb space, and then it was left for us to do the remaining 6 single crochets. So for the other mitten we would be doing it in the other way around. So first we will be doing 6 single crochets, then adding the hole for the thumb, and then doing the remaining 15 single crochets. So in that way we will be making this connection point to be on the other side, so it looks a little bit more evened out. Otherwise nothing is really changing, and all you have to do is just replicate the same thing and the same steps also to create a second mitten for your other hand. And here I have both of them ready, and this is how they look. Definitely super cute, and also super nice project for winter and for Christmas season, and definitely a nice gift for your friends and family if you wish. And feel free to create these mittens in different colors, mix and match them in whatever way you wish. You are also more than welcome to use different stitches throughout these mittens, and also feel free to create them in different sizes. All you have to do is just measure and try on as you are creating them. But most importantly, I hope that you will have fun with this project. So that was basically it from me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that this video was helpful for you and that your mittens turned out well. And of course, as I mentioned before, you're more than welcome to also create a matching set, and also look into my crochet beanie tutorial that's available on my YouTube channel and also on my Etsy. But yeah, otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, then please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're new here, then please subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye!